Welcome back. Today we're going to look at another organic free motion quilting design. I have a series of designs that I call organic because the rules are very loose. I give you some tips on how to make the design, but they're very fluid. If you want to change it or augment it to suit your taste or the quilt, go for it. I think it's a fun design that we can stitch on our home machines very easily. Again, if you haven't heard me talk about organic, when I say organic, I mean that there aren't many rules. You can adjust the pattern to suit your taste and your quilt project. This is the design. It's done one column at a time, and the width of these different sections are up to you. You can make them as small or as large as you want. You can stack them to all be exactly the same, or you can vary it. It's really up to you. Let's see how this is done. Remember, I always say practice on a whiteboard or paper and pen before you go to your quilt sandwich. And also, if you've watched some of my videos, I talk about multiple pass designs. Ones that we make by stitching it in two different directions or the same direction and doing it multiple times. So this is how we start. We start by doing half of the design first. And we make it as big or as small as we want. It's really up to us. Then when we reach the end of our quilt, we go across and then come back up. And the distance in this direction is really up to you. You can make it as small or as big as you want, and then we end. Want to see that one more time? I'll start on this side now. Say, for instance, I want to come in tighter. I can to close that gap in between each column of this design. So now I'm coming back, and say for instance I want this last one to all be even. So when I come back out, every single one is going to be the same distance in this direction. Oops, that was wrong. That's why I like a dry eraser. Just go in there, erase that. Come up. So, do you notice that these are all the same width on this side, but on this side the width varies. This is longer, shorter, shorter, all different. And then notice the gap in between each column. They can be any amount of space you want between columns. So let's watch this stitched out in the video, and I'll catch up with you at the end. I'd love to hear your thoughts about this organic technique. I'm trying to minimize the number of must-dos or rules when it comes to free motion quilting. And the reason for that is that I want you to learn how to design patterns yourself. And the more you change something, the more it becomes yours. Find inspiration in these patterns, but ultimately take them and change them a little bit so that they become your designs. I wanted to share something else with you. I have this whiteboard. It's two-sided. This side is plain, and the other side has lines on it. I like the idea of having the lines. Remember in kindergarten and grade school when we were learning the alphabet, we had these lines to help us space the letters evenly. If there's a design or technique that you want to improve upon, having these type of lines will help you with your spacing. So in today's design, if I wanted to make sure that I made the spacing exactly the same, I could practice this movement on a ruled whiteboard. If you can't find a whiteboard that has these lines, these ruled lines to help you with spacing, try and find a pad made for children who are learning how to do the alphabet. It's usually very thin paper. It's probably newsprint. I find mine at the dollar store. And you'll get a pack at the dollar store that has like 100 sheets in it, and you can practice. Using a whiteboard or newsprint with ruled lines will help us, just like when we had to learn to write the letter O or the letter U consistently, any letter of the alphabet. It helps us with spacing and technique. This is practice with a purpose. When you have help with these ruled lines, just like when we were learning the alphabet, we learned how to space shapes, namely letters, but they are shapes. Practice how to space different shapes by using either a whiteboard with lines or buying a pad of ruled lines that you would use in grade school. I hope this tip helps you, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.